Welcome back, survivors. If you're hearing this, you're still one of the lucky few who can catch these late-night frequencies. Before we jump into tonight's story, tap subscribe and drop a comment with where you're listening from, your safe spot, your outpost, anywhere you've found to survive. There's a new story coming tomorrow, and you'll want to catch the signal the moment it hits. The infected don't attack the soldiers, they attack for them. It happens fast. 3 infected lunge at the military squad from behind the generators, not with mindless fury, but with tactical precision. One goes low, sweeping legs, another goes high, grabbing a rifle barrel. The third flanks left, cutting off retreat. The soldiers react with trained efficiency, controlled bursts, headshots, maintained formation. 2 infected drop. The third takes 4 rounds, center mass, before finally going down. But in those 8 seconds of chaos, the infected surrounding Emma and me don't move. They stand perfectly still, watching, as if waiting for an outcome. Interesting, the lead soldier says, lowering his rifle. They're protecting you even from us. He keys his radio. Command, the carriers have a full escort. Infected are displaying guardian behavior, requesting extraction protocol, Charlie. What does that mean? I demand, pulling Emma behind me. What's happening? The soldier's expression doesn't change. Your blood contains natural antibodies to the infection. We detected the markers 3 weeks ago when we analyzed blood samples from your settlement. You and your sister are genetically immune. Your bodies fought off exposure and developed resistance. Emma's fingers dig into my back. I can feel her shaking. We weren't exposed, I say slowly. Yes, you were. Everyone in this mall was exposed. Day 1, when Jennifer opened that north barricade, the infected flooded in. You all breathed the same air, touched the same surfaces. 43 people entered this mall. 36 survived initial exposure because they weren't bitten, but within 72 hours, 94% showed symptoms: fever, aggression, tissue degeneration. My mouth goes dry. We had fevers, lots of people did, and most of them turned within a week. You didn't. Neither did your sister. Your immune systems adapted, created antibodies, and continued producing them. You're not just survivors, you're the key to a cure. I think back to those early days, the fevers that swept through our group. How Mr. Peterson got sick but recovered. How Maya's twin brother got sick and didn't. How Marcus Sr. started acting strange before he died in that breach. Marcus, I whisper. He wasn't killed by infected. He was infected. The soldier nods. 73% of your settlement was in various stages of conversion. The intelligent ones, the ones learning to coordinate, they were all former survivors who turned. That's why the mimicry is so perfect. They remember being human. The infected around us shift slightly. Still not attacking. Still watching. Then why are they protecting us? Emma asks in a small voice. Instinct, the soldier replies, but the infection wants to spread. But it also wants to evolve. Your antibodies represent the next stage, a hybrid immunity that could create a new strain, one that keeps human intelligence without the decay. The infected recognize this on some level. They're not protecting you because they care. They're protecting their evolutionary future. I look at the infected surrounding us. Really look at them. The one to my left has Sarah's build. The one to my right moves like Jennifer. The one behind them. Chen, I breathe. The silent woman who helped me move furniture, who never spoke, who I thought was traumatized into muteness. She tilts her head at the sound of her name. Her skin is grey now, veins prominent, but her eyes still contain something almost human. She was infected the whole time, watching us, learning from us, protecting Emma and me while pretending to be one of the survivors. How many? I asked the soldier, already knowing the answer will break me. In your settlement, 11 confirmed conversions mixed in with the surviving humans. They've been studying you for weeks, learning social behavior, pack dynamics, protection patterns. This mall isn't a shelter, kid. It's a laboratory. And you're the experiment. Emma makes a sound like a wounded animal. I pull her closer, feeling my own world cracking apart. Everyone I tried to save, everyone who looked to me for leadership, half of them were already gone, and I never even noticed. We're leaving, the soldier says, moving toward us. Both of you, now. The infected circle tightens. They won't let you take us, I say quietly. The soldier's jaw tightens. We have authorization to use lethal force. All of it. Against how many? I gesture at the infected surrounding us. 12 in this room, but I can hear more in the corridors beyond. They're shuffling, synchronized, coordinated. You heard them singing earlier. There are hundreds in this mall, maybe thousands by now. You'll never fight your way out with us in tow. That's not your concern, kid. Our mission is extraction. How we accomplish it is classified. Emma tugs my jacket. Noah, I want to go with them. Please, I want to leave. I look down at her. My baby sister, who trusted me to keep her safe, who I've been protecting for 43 days while half the people around us slowly transformed into monsters who I sent crawling through vents into darkness because I thought I was making the right choice. I've been making the wrong choices all along. What happens to them? I asked the soldier, nodding at the infected. After you extract us, after you synthesize the cure, what happens to the infected? The soldier's silence is answer enough. You're going to kill them all, I continue, but sterilize the area, burn it down, because even with a cure, they're too dangerous to rehabilitate. They're already dead, he says flatly. What we'd be killing are reanimated corpses with stolen memories. Chen moved that bookshelf with me 3 days ago, I counter. Sarah helped ration food. Marcus Sr. gave me his watch before he died and told me to take care of everyone. They're not just corpses. They're people who got infected and are still in there somewhere, still trying to protect us. Sentimental bullshit won't they learned to talk. I'm shaking now, adrenaline and revelation burning through my veins. They coordinate, they plan, they remember human behavior well enough to mimic it perfectly. If there's enough human left in them to do that, there's enough human left to save. The soldier's radio crackles. Recon 7, status update. Infection levels in your sector are spiking. Recommend immediate extraction and thermal purge authorization. Thermal purge. Military speak for firebombing. You're going to burn them all, I say hollowly, with everyone still inside. Everyone inside is either infected or a carrier. We extract the carriers, eliminate the threat, synthesize the cure. That's the mission. He raises his rifle, aiming not at the infected, but at me. Now move, both of you. That's an order. Emma starts forward. I hold her back. What if we don't go? The soldier's expression hardens. Then we extract you by force, and you watch us put down every infected in this building on our way out. Your choice. Come quietly, and they might survive long enough for the bombs, or resist and watch us execute them one by one, starting with that one. He points his rifle at Chen. Chen, who hasn't attacked anyone. Who helped me save Emma. Who might still be human enough to be saved herself. I think about my parents, lost on a supply run. About Marcus Sr. giving me his watch. About Mr. Peterson teaching Emma math. About Sarah singing while she cooked. About Jennifer, who just wanted to hear her son's voice one more time. About all the choices I've made as a leader. All the people I failed to save because I didn't understand what was really happening. I make eye contact with Chen. She tilts her head, studying me with those clouded eyes. Then she does something that stops my heart. She smiles. Not the disturbing, predatory smile the infected outside the bookstore gave me. A sad, human smile that says I understand. I forgive you. Do what you have to do. Emma, I say quietly, do you trust me? Always, she whispers. I look at the soldier, at his rifle, at his 3 squad mates positioned behind him, at the infected circle that hasn't attacked, despite having multiple opportunities, at my sister, 9 years old, who's been brave enough to survive 43 days of hell. Then we're not going. The soldier's finger moves to the trigger. Last chance, kid. You need us alive, I counter. The antibodies only work in living subjects. You shoot us, you lose everything. So here's my offer. You leave now. Take your thermal purge authorization and shove it. Give us 72 hours to try something else. Try what? A third option. One where maybe some of these people get to stay human enough to matter. Impossible. You said it yourself. They're evolving, learning. If infection can progress, maybe it can also regress. Maybe with the right antibodies, the right treatment, some of them can come back. That's not how it works. Then what do you lose by giving us 3 days? His radio crackles again. Recon 7, we're reading increased infection density. Recommend immediate. The soldier rips the radio off his vest and crushes it under his boot. His squad mates stare at him in shock. 72 hours, he says finally. Then we come back with or without authorization and we burn everything. Understood? I nod. He backs toward the corridor, his squad following, weapons still raised, the infected part to let them pass. At the doorway, he pauses. For what it's worth, kid, I hope you're right. But hope doesn't cure infection. Then they're gone. Bootsteps fading into darkness. Emma looks up at me. Noah, what do we do now? I look at Chen. At the other infected standing in their patient circle. At the impossible task I've just committed us to. Now, I say, we try to save everyone. The infected don't sleep, but they rest. I discover this at 3 a.m. when the scratching and shuffling stops and the mall goes silent except for the hum of failing generators. Emma is curled against my side in the maintenance hub where we've barricaded ourselves, not against the infected, but with them. Chen sits across from us, perfectly still, head tilted like she's listening to something I can't hear. Can you understand me? I ask quietly. Chen's clouded eyes focus on my face. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again. A sound emerges, raspy, broken, barely human. Yes. Emma flinches. I squeeze her hand. The others aren't, I continue. Can you communicate with them? Chen's head tilts the other direction. Her jaw works like she's relearning how to form words. We feel same thoughts, shared memory, a hive mind, or something close to it. The coordination makes sense now. They're not just hunting in packs, they're operating as a single distributed intelligence. Do you remember being human before? Her expression shifts, something that might be pain or might be confusion. Remember, but everything, watching, learning, trying to come back. Each word costs her enormous effort. Can't reach the surface. What if I could help you reach it? She stares at me for a long moment, then reaches out one grey hand, palm up. An offering, a request. I look at Emma. She nods, brave despite her terror. I pull out the knife from our supply kit, a small folding blade we've used for opening rations. My blood has antibodies. If I give you some, introduce it to your system, maybe it'll help fight the infection, bring you closer to the surface. Chen's hand doesn't waver. I cut my palm, a shallow slice across the lifeline. Blood wells up, dark and red in the emergency lighting. I press my bleeding hand to Chen's palm. She jerks, like I've electrocuted her. Her whole body goes rigid, veins standing out black against grey skin. Her eyes roll back. "Noah!" Emma cries. "Wait," I say. Watching. Chen's breathing, I didn't even realize she was breathing, accelerates. Her skin flushes just slightly, color returning in patches. The black veins recede a fraction of an inch. Her eyes snap open, and for a moment, they're almost clear. "It hurts," she gasps in a voice that sounds startlingly human. "Hurts so much. Like waking up. Can you feel the others? Can you share this with them?" She nods, then tilts her head back and makes a sound, not a scream, not a moan, but something between a whale song and a radio signal. It echoes through the mall's corridors, and I hear it answered from a dozen locations. 24, 100, they're all connected. If one can be helped, maybe they all can be. "We need more blood," I say, looking at my palm. "A lot more. Emma, hand me the first aid kit." "Noah?" "You can't give them all your blood. You'll die." "Not all of it. Just enough to jumpstart their immune response. If the antibodies can replicate in their systems like they did in ours, it might be enough." Over the next hour, I make the rounds. Chen guides me through the maintenance hub to where other infected wait in the darkness, 12 of them, sitting in a circle like students waiting for class. I recognize some. Sarah, with her blonde hair now matted and grey. A teenage boy who might be Marcus's younger cousin. An elderly woman who helped in the kitchen. I cut my palm deeper. Press my bleeding hand to each of theirs in turn. Each one convulses. Each one gasps. Each one comes back a little more human. By the time I reach the 12th, I'm dizzy from blood loss. Emma has wrapped my hand in bandages that are already soaking through. The infected around me are breathing harder, moving more naturally, speaking in fragmented sentences that grow clearer with each passing minute. "It's working," Sarah rasps, looking at her hands like she's seeing them for the first time. "I can think, almost remember." "Who did this?" the elderly woman asks, her voice gaining strength. "Who gave us back our minds?" "My brother," Emma says quietly. He's trying to save everyone." "Why?" the teenage boy asks, not hostile, genuinely confused. "We're, monsters. We killed, people." "You were infected," I say, swaying slightly. "You didn't choose this, and if there's enough human left in you to ask that question, there's enough human left to save." Chen stands, moving to steady me. Her skin is still grey but warming, her eyes still clouded but clearing. "The others," she says, words coming easier now. "In the mall. Hundreds. They need this too, need to come back." "I can't," I admit. "I don't have enough blood." She looks at Sarah, at the teenage boy, at the others who are recovering their humanity minute by minute. Then we share. Pass it forward. 1 helps 2, 2 helps 4, 4 helps 8. Exponential distribution, I murmur. Like a reverse infection. "A cure," Sarah says, and she's smiling now, a real smile, not the predatory mimicry from before. "We become the cure," Emma tugs my jacket. "Noah, you need to rest. You've lost too much blood." She's right. The room is tilting, shadows creeping in at the edges of my vision, but I can see it working. 12 infected becoming human again, their shared hive consciousness now spreading antibodies instead of disease. Maybe we can actually do this. Maybe... The maintenance hub door explodes inward. Not infected. Humans, survivors from another part of the mall, armed with pipes and axes, their faces twisted with fear and rage. "There!" one shouts, pointing at me and Emma. "The immune ones, with the infected, they've been turned." "No," I try to say, but my voice comes out slurred. "They're recovering. We're curing them." "Liars!" A woman I recognize from the food court, Amanda, I think her name was, raises a crowbar. "We heard everything on the radio before the soldier broke it. You're carriers. You're spreading the infection." "That's not..." Emma starts. They rush us. Chen and the other recovering infected move to block them, but they're still weak, still regaining coordination. The survivors push through, surrounding Emma and me with weapons raised. "You brought this on us," Amanda hisses. "You and your sister. You're the reason they got smart, the reason they learned to think." "We're trying to save them," I shout. "They're already dead." The crowbar comes down. Chen catches the crowbar mid-swing. Her hand clamps around the metal with impossible strength, not the mindless power of an infected, but controlled, deliberate force. She looks Amanda in the eyes and speaks in a voice that's rough but unmistakably human. "He saved me. He brought me back. Touch him, and I'll show you what an infected can really do." Amanda stumbles backward. The other survivors freeze, weapons half raised, staring at Chen like she's a ghost. "You're talking," one of them whispers. "How are you talking?" "Because I'm still human," Chen says. "We're all still human. Infected, yes, but not gone, not yet. This boy figured out how to bring us back." Sarah steps forward, her movement still jerky but improving. "I remember you, Amanda. You shared your rations with me on day 18. You sang to the children when they couldn't sleep. I'm still that person. I'm still Sarah." "That's impossible," Amanda breathes, but her crowbar lowers slightly. 72 hours ago, infected couldn't speak, I say, pushing myself upright despite the dizziness. 48 hours ago, they started coordinating. 24 hours ago, they learned perfect mimicry. They're not devolving, they're evolving, and with the right catalyst, they can evolve back toward human. Emma squeezes my hand. "My brother gave them his blood. The antibodies are spreading. We can cure them. We can cure everyone." The survivors exchange uncertain glances. Well, I can see the calculation in their eyes, hope warring with fear, desperation fighting with disbelief. "How many of us are left?" I ask. "Real humans, I mean. Uninfected." Amanda's expression crumbles. 17. Maybe 15 now. The infected broke through the eastern barricade an hour ago. They took Davidson and Kim before we sealed ourselves in the sporting goods store. 17 survivors, down from 43. The rest, either dead or transformed. And how many infected in the mall? We stopped counting at 200. 200 infected. 17 humans, 12 recovering carriers who might be the bridge between both groups. Then here's what we do, I say, making the choice that will define what happens next. We stop running, we stop fighting, we gather every survivor in one location, create a safe zone, and we systematically cure every infected we can reach. Use my blood to start, then the recovered carriers to spread it exponentially. Within 48 hours, we could have 100 cured. Within 72, maybe all of them. "And if it doesn't work?" Amanda asks. "If they attack during the process? Then we die trying something better than burning everyone alive." Silence. The generators hum. Somewhere in the mole's darkness, infected shuffle and scrape, their movements synchronized, their shared consciousness waiting to see what happens next. "I'm in," Sarah says quietly. "If there's a chance to save the others, to save who we used to be, I'll take it." "Me too," the teenage boy adds. "My name is Lucas. I was human once. I want to be human again." One by one, the recovering infected voice their agreement. Chen stands beside me, her hand still gripping the crowbar she caught, her clouded eyes meeting mine with something that might be gratitude or might be hope. Amanda looks at her fellow survivors, at the 12 infected who are speaking, thinking, remembering. At Emma, 9 years old, and brave enough to believe in impossible things. Finally, she lowers her crowbar completely. "Okay," she says. "Okay, but the first one that attacks gets put down. No hesitation, no second chances." "Agreed," I say. We spend the next hour organizing. The surviving humans move to the food court, our original gathering place, defensible and central. Chen and the recovering infected spread out through the mall in pairs, finding others like them, sharing blood and antibodies, slowly expanding the circle of consciousness and cure. Emma stays close to me, helping bandage wounds, distributing water, keeping count of how many infected return to humanity with each passing hour. 12 becomes 24, 24 becomes 48, 48 becomes 96. The exponential curve is working, but I'm fading. The blood loss is catching up, my vision tunneling, my hands shaking. Emma notices, makes me sit, forces me to drink water and eat protein bars we've been rationing. "You need to rest," she insists. "Let the others do the work now." "Can't," I murmur. "Have to see it through." "Noah." She grips my face, forcing me to look at her. "You kept your promise. You stayed close. You saved me. You saved everyone. Now let them save you back." I want to argue, but the exhaustion is overwhelming. My eyes drift closed. When I wake, it's dawn, real dawn. Sunlight streaming through the mall's shattered skylights, illuminating what looks like a miracle. 200 infected, now human again, filling the food court. Some are still grey-skinned and weak, but they're talking, laughing, crying, embracing each other. Amanda is hugging Sarah. Lucas is teaching a group of children a game using scattered food court chairs. Chen sits beside my makeshift bed, watching over me with clear brown eyes. "You did it," she says simply. "You actually did it." Emma tackles me in a hug. "You slept for 18 hours. I was so worried." "The soldiers," I rasp. "Came back this morning," Amanda says, approaching with a military radio. "Saw what we'd done. They're calling it the Chen Protocol now, using immune carriers to reverse infection through antibody transfer. Command wants to replicate it in other settlements." I try to process this. We didn't just save our mall. We might have saved everyone. "There's one more thing," Chen says quietly. She hands me a small mirror. I look at my reflection and freeze. My eyes have a faint cloudiness to them. Black veins trace delicate patterns along my neck. The blood loss combined with constant exposure during the curing process. I've crossed the line. I'm infected now too. But I'm still me, still thinking, still human. "The cure works both ways," Chen explains. "You gave us your humanity, we gave you our evolution. You're not just immune anymore, Noah. You're something new, a bridge between both worlds." Emma looks at me with wide eyes. "Does this mean—" "It means," I say, pulling her close, "that we stay together, like I promised, no matter what happens next." Outside, I hear helicopters approaching, military extraction, medical teams, scientists who want to study what we've done. The world is about to get very complicated, but right now, in this moment, surrounded by 200 people who were lost and are found again, Holding my sister who never stopped believing in me, I feel something I haven't felt in 43 days. Hope. The infected learn to hunt in packs. We learn to cure in waves. And maybe, just maybe, that makes all the difference. What would you have done in Noah's position? Would you have trusted the recovering infected or evacuated with the military? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to know what happens when the world discovers the Chen Protocol, when other settlements try to replicate the cure, let me know. There might be more to this story. Subscribe for more survival horror. Stay close, survivors. You never know when the next outbreak begins.